opportunities?
Yeah, exactly. I saw the first quarter, last quarter when it didn't matter, we decided to stand up and be competitive. And the first quarter when it did, we were good and competitive and had a crack at them, and our intensity and effort was pretty good. But then after that, the second and third quarter, we rolled over to a fair extent and cost ourselves another game.
How does that happen, Matty? Because as you said, you're right in the game for a good 40 minutes or so.
We just don't have the ability yet just to consistently remain competitive, and that's been an issue for us for a few years now, and it's still rearing its head for us. So when the opposition come at us, we fight back, and they come again, and we just concede too much. So and that's irrelevant of whether we've got 10 first gamers in or 10 200 gamers in. That's the history, what it's been for us over the last couple of years. So we need to keep getting better at it, and our youth need to keep realising that. And when it does, momentum starts to shift. Actually put a hand up instead of the white flag up.
So you don't give any excuses for the youth today?
No, look, they had as many kids out there as us, I would have thought, especially through the middle. So a couple of them showed a bit, but I thought they were pretty special, especially the contested stuff in the second and third quarter. They really got on top of us.
So you say they've got the white flag. How do you get over that? Just something to keep working and stressing them?
We just got to keep emphasising the competitive nature of this game, and as I keep saying, this game is more and more competitive, more and more contested, and until we find the players who can consistently do that over 4 quarters, and we haven't been able to this year, hence why we've tried so many players. I thought towards the end there in the last quarter, we had Jacobs was able to get a little bit of the contested footy and shown a bit, but we've just got to keep having enough guys go through there. We had enough senior players in there tonight to be able to find enough of the ball, but they couldn't.
What was going through your head when Hamish came on his shoulder towards the end?
Yeah, I probably thought it was more serious than what it was. We're not quite sure. It popped back in, so he's going to be sore, so he'll probably be in doubt for next week, I would think. He could have come back on, but I didn't want to do any more damage to it. So, and Dom was pretty tight in his calf, and there's a good chance of him doing something, so I didn't want to put him back on either. So, they had to hang tough there the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Matty, when you say you don't have the ability, do you mean strength, skills, fitness, experience? What is the ability?
The ability to, when the opposition come at you and momentum changes, to be able to hold up the momentum or swing it back your way.
Is it mental or physical?
It's probably a bit of both. It's just the capacity to fight back when you're under a bit of heat, and instead of a little wave coming against you, we actually let it turn into a tsunami, and it just keeps coming, and eventually we get overwhelmed. And tonight was a fair bit in the centre square, and in the modern game now, if you get a ball going your way or the opposition's way, you're going to be under a fair bit of pressure, and our midfield allowed our backs to be under too much pressure, and that certainly cost us.
Do you think the players are incapable of doing that, or they just don't know what to do?
Oh no, they're quite capable, because we've seen them do it in quarters, in halves, in 3 quarters. They're able to do it for in our wins this year, been able to do it consistently well. They showed it last week. They were able to consistently absorb a bit of heat away from home. So they've shown they just haven't been consistently able to do it for probably 3.5 quarters. I don't think anyone can do it for 4 quarters, but for 3.5, 3 quarters, we haven't been able to do it.
You mentioned it's been a recurring theme here. Why has it been a recurring theme?
Look, I'm not quite sure. It's just slowly it's evolved to a certain extent, and that's why this year we were very clear about the path we want to go down with our young players. We need to get games into them, and to see what standard they're at, how talented they are, how experienced and how good they're going to be, and where they can play. And we need to keep finding that out to identify where we need to improve our list for the coming years.
So it'll be the pop philosophy for the rest of the year, keep pushing those young guys and find the next generation team?
Look, to a certain extent it will. Look, we've talked about players that are out of the team. If they're in good enough form, they'll find their way into our team. But you can't come into AFL football without any form at all. Especially if you played quite a few games, you have to have some kind of form to fight your way into our team, and that's the way it'll be for the rest of the year.
How tough is your approach going to be with delisting and trading at the end of the year?
Yeah, look, probably as tough as any team that's out of the 8 and thinks what they need to do to improve to, not come up to make the 8 next year, but to continually trying to make the 8 year after year. So we'll have a good look at our list. As I said last week, we had a mid-year review and all the players know where they stand. So, but we're going to be aware of the draft and the ability to pick up players in that, and also to trade. But, first and foremost is our ability next week to be able to play a brand of football that holds up away from home and can generate a win for us. And then for the remaining, 9 games, to be able to do that, that's our key focus. And out of that will come where our list is at and our list assessment.
Are you stuck with a couple of players on longer-term contracts, like Stephen Salapak, who's playing in the SAFL, a longer-term deal? Are you stuck with them on your list, or can you?
Oh, look, I'd like to think we're not stuck with players on our list. I've got belief, as I've said. Let's take Stephen Salapak. I see him here as somebody in our future, but he has to work on some areas of his game and has to be in some pretty good form to consistently to fight his way back into our team. And when he does that, that gives him the best chance to be successful with us. So, I'm comfortable where everyone's at on our list contract-wise, but we'll keep searching for it. And as I say, we're not steering away from the fact we need to get games into our core group of 18 to 24-year-olds, and we're going to continue to do that if their form demands it. And tonight, they were as good as our old players when the going was good, and they were probably as poor as our senior players were when the going got tough.
How concerned are you about the ruck depth? When obviously Braden leaves a big hole every time he's there.
Oh, he does. Look, Loeb's, he's coming off I don't know what he's played, 6 or 7 games now in a row in the SAFL off his shoulder, Rico. So, I thought he competed well in the first quarter. We got done in hit-outs, but were able to win the centre clearances. And then all of a sudden, just because of the hit-outs, we actually got smashed inside. Maybe a couple during the second and third quarter had something to do with our rucks, but it was more our ability for our midfield not to be aggressive and competitive enough and actually stop the ball getting kicked the other way. And that was the most disappointing thing. So, look, I think the future is, we've got to see how good these young rucks are. But, I think there's some talent in them. We're going to see how they go. And, Goldstein was a pretty good effort by him after coming off his ankle injury, but I was more impressed with their midfielders against ours rather than their rucks against our rucks.
Comes back next week?
I'm not quite sure. It pulled up pretty sore this morning still. So, we've got another 7 days to go. So we'll have to manage that and see how that is. But, I don't have any idea at the moment.
So you're going to stick with Matthew for the rest of it? Or Lobe for instance?
Oh, yeah, we'll have a look at Lobes. We've got Redden, who's back this week. Bass played his first game in the seniors for South and went pretty good. So, we've got some people we can have a look at there. But if Dean's fit, he'll come back in.
Any significant injuries to Pittard and Carlisle?
Look, Jasper obviously a hamstring, so we'll get it scanned, but it'll be minimum 3 weeks, and I think it's 3 weeks till the bye now. So he'll be looking to come back after the bye. So we're probably going to spell him before the bye, 1 week before that. So that's brought that forward. And Carlisle's had the hip for probably 5 weeks now, and we've been managing it, and he's had a couple of jabs in it over the last 5-6 weeks. So I would think he's probably in pretty big doubt to play next week. Probably just the fact that it's been hanging around, we probably need to give it a rest. So whether that's 1 week, 2 weeks, who knows?
Many would regard Chad Torrance as being almost perfect for the permanent substitution role. Why don't you?
I don't know, what's perfect for the substitution role?
And that he's capable of playing any line, including almost the ruck. And if he's not capable of 4 quarters, he's at least capable of 1.5, 2, 3.
Yeah, look, I think the sub so far is someone that can come on and use their legs and take some yardage and be able to carry the ball pretty well. I think that's what most teams have been trying to use the sub for, or expose a young player to some more game time. So I'm not sure it suits him. As I keep saying, he's will come in and play up forward for us when his form warrants us, or some of our key forwards don't. And Schultz, he kicked a few goals. I thought he was okay at times when we were able to just play 6 forwards or 5 forwards, and Westhoff had to show a bit and then go in the ruck. So I'm not quite sure he's the perfect sub, but he'll continue to play a part if his form's good enough.
But is there one area you think around, like ruck or wherever you've got a target in the trade or draft period this year?
Yeah, look, Andrew, we're starting to think about that. But I think you can always increase your midfield. And the rucks, we'll have a look at. I'm excited by what's on our list, but they're a long way away. Ruckman take a hell of a long time. So, So yeah, we'll have a look at what's available. But you know, I'm excited by Redden and Bass and Lobie, what they can do. So you know, I would say probably continue with them on our list. But you know, we'll have a look at what rucks are out there, I suppose, when it comes towards the end of the year.